Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Thank you for the assurance. Okay. So what are the four C's of 21st century learning? We will start with. Just I need to. Just give me 1 minute. Um, yes, a few are joining. So let them join. So my capacity of Zoom is only 100 because I didn't know that so much of educators will be willing to come. Uh, I will be very sad if others could not join. My apologies to them. Anyways, so let us start with the four C's of 21st century learning. You know, these four C's. These are the in things. What I say, they are the in things in our learning environment, as I can say right now. So, what basically are the four C's? I will be taking you through one after the other. So, what we are going to sail through actually. We will be sailing through several different aspects in today's webinar. We will be doing with what are four C's. Obviously, because we all have gathered here to know basically what are the four C's. Then what is the literal meaning of these four C's? Then obviously when we are educators and we are doing with all the different type of technologies, techniques when we are using, then obviously what happens is uh, somewhere we use Bloom's taxonomy. Bloom's taxonomy is one thing which is like a very good tool for the educators anytime, whichever environment, whether it's an online, whether it's an offline, it's always a very, very useful tool. So I will tell you how this Bloom's taxonomy and four C's go hand in hand. Then three simple steps to four C's, how we can implement it in the class with the three simple steps. Then how can we build the four C's in online classes? And how to practice four C's using technology. That is very important because nowadays the pandemic has increased in such a way. It's a very sad thing actually, but it has increased in such four folds that we don't know next 6 months what it is holding for us. So what happens is we were thinking about flipped classrooms, we were thinking about blended learning, blended classrooms as well, where in 2 days, 3 days, we might be going to school, 2 days we will be doing from home. But right now with this current situation, all those things have taken a backseat. So online teaching is the only thing which we can think of right now so that we can, we can just narrow down the learning gap, right? So let's we will be doing all these things in today's webinar. So what are the four C's? The four C's are collaboration, communication, creativity, and critical thinking. So these are the things, it's somewhere whenever you are taking your classes, you do all these things. So before we go into the further into the webinar, let's go back to the era or let's say 1 year back. Let's roll off to us to 1 year back, our memories to 1 year back. And we came to know all of a sudden in the month of March that this virus is a very deadly virus, and it is going to it is increasing day by day. So all of a sudden lockdown was declared. So what did we do at that point of time? We started getting panicking, but then our schools told show must go on. And when we are saying show must go on, that means it has to go on. Teachers cannot take a back seat. Teaching cannot ever stop. Learning cannot ever stop. So what we started to do, we started to, think how we can do it, how we can go about with online classes. So see, more or less internet, everybody of us know as educators, because in our schools we have to prepare our results, we use Excel sheets, we use, multiple number of other Google tools. Always we are using them, and the Microsoft tools. So somewhere we are a bit literate, but online classes was a very different thing. So what we started, when our managements, they started to tell, yes, now you have to start with your online classes. What we started doing, we started now talking among ourselves. My colleagues are calling me, I'm calling my colleagues. And likewise, I know every educator was doing the same thing. So we started what? Exactly, we started to communicate with each other. When we started to communicate with each other, we started to learn about different things, right? And with these tools, with these techniques, now came that yes, we can teach them, we can make use of PowerPoints, because that is the basic thing, right? Videos came later on. We started to settle down, and we started with our PowerPoints. So at that point of time also, it was a very huge thing. See, so many number of chapters, if I'm talking about right from the pre-primary, primary to upper primary, secondary, senior secondary schools. There are lots and lots of concepts to teach. How much presentation a teacher will be able to make? So then what we did, we started communicating among our groups of parallel teachers, and we decided, okay, what we will do, this particular lesson you take, you make the slide, this particular you make the slide. So this way we started, right? So what we started with, we started to do collaboration. We collaborated with each other. And after that, now why when we are collaborating, suppose I have got a PPT from one of my colleagues or my parallel teacher, I went through it, I said, wow, it's a very nice thing. I could have implemented these things to my slides also. My slides would have looked much better. So then I started thinking, yeah, what are the other ways which I can, explore, so that I can make my slide look much more beautiful, much more attractive, interactive, so that I can motivate my students to look into the slide, because time was something which these students were not acquainted with. So what happened is, I started doing critical thinking. I started searching, researching, so many things I started. And as a result, what happened? I learned to make much beautiful, much interactive, much informative PPTs. At the end of the day, when I'm sitting now in front of you, even as educators, you also might be having the same experience throughout the year. Throughout this year was a very learning experience, where actually in the teaching community also, we have used these 4 C's royally. We might not have understood it that point of time, but we have used this 4 C's royally. So this is what the 4 C's is all about. I hope you have had a clear idea or a fair idea about it, and I will sail you through so that we can be more acquainted with the 4 C's and how to implement it. So why a 4 C's? What is the reason for discussion of 4 C's? If you have gone through the curriculum framework, in the initial pages, which was mentioned and which was released in the month of March by the CBSC, which was regarding secondary and senior secondary curriculum, you might have gone through this paragraph 2.9, wherein I just have taken that particular page screenshot so that I can refer to you properly. So page 13, it includes, there are three key 21st century skills, out of which comes the learning skills first. And it includes these four C's: critical thinking, uh, creativity, communication, collaboration. So, these CBSC is also encouraging us. It is also pushing us towards having these four skills. Already we have. We need not have to worry. We all have these four skills and we might be using in our classroom. So let's start with what basically are the meanings. When we talk about collaboration, I have already given you one example where I took the example of our teaching community. So collaboration is what? Collaboration is where two or more people work together towards a shared goal. This is collaboration. And while we are collaborating with each other, or while the students are collaborating with each other, what exactly they are developing? These are also skills, there are values, there are skills out of it. So trust. First thing comes is trust. We need to, or the students need to trust each other. They start trusting, they support each other, and thus they form a great team. Now, within the team, everybody is unique. They present their unique ideas. And each of these uniqueness motivates the other team members. It inspires the other team members. And thus they get inspiration and they want to do better each day. They keep on growing each day without knowing exactly that they are doing it. And that leads to success. And success is what? Success is to see from our end that our students are growing. They are collaborating. That is one of the very basic thing if we have to live in a society. So then we will talk about communication. Communication is a very easy one, which we know very nicely. It comes from a Latin word communis, which means making common. So what exactly we do in communication is we exchange our thoughts. Whatever we are thinking, whatever we have perceived, we have to put it into message, or we have to put it in the form of signals or writing to our peers or to our friends. So this is communication. Next is creativity. So what basically is creativity? I have taken a very general definition from S.K. Mangal and Skinner. So if I look into S.K. Mangal's way of defining creativity, then creativity is the capacity or ability of an individual to create, discover, or produce new ideas. Right? Creativity is always, it will be, unique, and it depends upon different persons. Everybody's uniqueness comes to play. The rearrangement of it, the reshaping of it, all this comes into play. And as per Skinner, creative thinking means that the prediction of an individual are new, original, ingenious, and unusual. Yes, creativity should be unusual. It has to be unusual, then only it is creativity. It is original, 100% it is original. So this is creativity. Critical thinking. Critical thinking is, it is a process of purposeful self-regulatory judgment. So this is something which, sometimes uh, uh, we might think that what exactly it is. So let us solve it a little bit. We make it a little bit dilute. We will do about the whole thing, which is written in one statement. So what basically is critical thinking? It is nothing but the ability to solve problems by by observing, by taking those observations and using it creatively, intuitively, logically, and analytically. So all the mental processes are included to, give out the best, right? So this is critical thinking. So what are the skills of critical thinking? Critical thinking skills are observation. As I have told you, everything, whenever we are thinking, the first thing is what we are doing, mental process. If you think about, then the first thing which comes is observation. I will observe at first. No, I have to observe. Similarly, the students will observe at first. They will observe, they will analyze, they will infer from it, then they will communicate with each other, and together they will solve the problem. So these are the critical thinking skills which are required. Now we'll look into how Bloom's taxonomy, or how 4Cs fits into Bloom's taxonomy. Now, if you have, all of you have gone through this Bloom's taxonomy multiple number of times whenever you are preparing your lesson plans each month or each week, whatsoever in your schools they are asking you to do. Now, this particular triangle is a very precious one for us as educators. So when we look into this, you can see there are steps to this pyramid. Remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, create. Now, when we talk about Bloom's taxonomy, it is from lots to hots. So from lower order thinking skills to higher order thinking skills, it goes. So what is lots? Lots here will be remember and understanding. So see, when we are talking in the sense of 4 Cs, firstly, we are going to our classes, we are introducing the concepts to the class, and then them to we are asking them to do various activities. So what basically is doing we are doing is, at first, what the child is perceiving from his end. He is listening to the teacher, he is understanding the concept, he is remembering it, he is understanding it, and then what he is doing, he comes to apply it. How he will apply it? Because we are giving him activities. Okay, children, this is the concept. Now let's do one activity. Let me see how much have you understood. So application comes. Now application, when they start applying, they have to analyze. So what they are doing, again they go back to their remembering and understanding part, and they again come back. So they apply, they analyze after that. Once they have analyzed, what they will do, they will evaluate it. Evaluate means they will argue with each other, because these type of things, when we are doing, we are actually giving them a platform where we encourage them to work in groups, right? Forces cannot be accomplished without group work, so group is required. So they work in group, everybody has different idea, everybody has a different way to analyze the situation, right? So they all will sit together, everybody is going to defend each other, everybody will be going to judge each other, they will become each other's critics, they will weigh their own thought, and they will appraise also. As I have told you, because there comes, we get motivations, we get inspiration, so we might appraise. So evaluation in case of Bloom's taxonomy. And then comes the creation, or the original work, or a new work, whatever concept we have taught, it will be presented in a very new way by the group of students. So you can see all the 4 Cs have come into play. So what are those forces have come into play? Communication, then collaboration, then comes critical thinking, which actually takes this part, analysis, evaluation, this comes under critical thinking, and creatively thinking, or creativity comes at the end. So you can see 4 Cs walk hand in hand with Bloom's taxonomy. So if we have any confusion regarding, okay, I am using 4 Cs in my classroom, am I going with Bloom's taxonomy? Because Bloom's taxonomy, as I have told you, is a very essential tool to make our classes, effective, make our classes productive. So yes, now we all know that yes, 4 Cs are always in sync with Bloom's taxonomy. So now we will move on to 3 steps to 4 Cs. This is what is very, very important to know. And as I was talking to the educators before we started this session, and many teachers said, many educators wrote in the chat box that how to implement it, how should we go about it further. So there are very three simple steps to 4 C's. The first one is prompt, critical, and creative thinking. Second is prompt, communication, and collaboration. And third is present. So what is step one? See, step one starts as soon as we enter the class. Okay. And here, what a teacher's role is, teacher will enter the class. She will talk to the kids. That is very important. Once you reach your class, immediately you should not be starting to teach. Okay, children, good morning. And yes, we will start with this particular chapter which we have left behind. No, we need not have to. Let them come close. Let them come closer to us. Let them start enjoying. So the first step is prompt, critical, and creative thinking. So this how we can do is this. What we can do is we have suppose introduce the concept. So for this, obviously the lesson plan has to be proper. So that is one thing. Lesson planning has to be proper beforehand. We have to plan our lessons. So suppose there's a topic which I know if I take 15 minutes or 20 minutes of it, I will be able to finish off with the concept which I have planned for today. So once I have done it, what I will ask them, I will ask my students to think critically and creatively about it. And I will give them 5 minutes for that. No need to give a lot of time for critical thinking and creative thinking. Let them, we can start with, we can warm up ourselves. So 5 minutes you can give. Now, what exactly in this 5 minutes will they do? So here comes again the teacher's role. She can prompt. Okay, so you can provide specific prompts. Like you can give a sentence completion. Let's say I am teaching them cell, and that day I have taken only nucleus part because nucleus itself is very important part, right? So I have taken nucleus that day. I have taught them how the diagram can be made. All those nitty-gritties I have done. And so now what happens, I now am applying step one of 4 C's, right? So what I can do is, if I want, I will give them a prompt. Okay, children, I will give you 5 minutes. I'm writing this sentence, or I'm giving you this sentence, and you have to complete this sentence. So suppose if I give nucleus helps the cell by dash, nothing I will write there. Let them think. They have already gone through the concept. Let them understand. Let them remember. They will come to it. They will analyze it, and they will come to beautiful answers come, because this I have done practically in my class, so that I can tell you. Or we can use several other prompts like definition. Let them define whatever. Suppose you have taught French Revolution in a class. Okay, let them define it. You ask them, define it in your own way in one sentence. So 5 minutes is absolutely enough for all these activities. Then problem solving. So in problem solving, you can say that okay, children, what we can do is, the nucleus is not liking to work. It wants to go for a strike. So suppose if nucleus in the cell goes for a strike, what will happen? So this is the prompt you have given, and give them 5 minutes. Let them think. Let them think and let them brainstorm. Let them come with the ideas. So this can be done as a prompting. Next is clustering. Clustering, recently I have used in grade 12, where I was teaching them a lesson on human reproduction. And there I was teaching them ectoderm, mesoderm, that place. And I told them about stem cells. And then I told them, okay, do one thing, write stem cells in the middle of the page and give me as much information as you can. Okay, whatever you know, whatever I have told you, whatever you have interpreted through whatever I have told in the class, interpret it and you can write it. So they come up with the ideas. Yes, they will write it, and they will tell it to you. Okay, so that is clustering. Modeling is something which will require some time. Okay, it cannot be done immediately. Okay, it requires time. So modeling is creating a visual representation. Okay, so this will not happen in 5 minutes. Let me tell you, this will take some time. So as I am telling you, when we are talking about step one also, it again depends which prompt we are using and what topic we are using the prompt for. So according to it, it will differ. So if I'm talking about modeling, modeling can be a diagram. Modeling can be to create a model of, in this case, a nucleus. Or if I'm taking French Revolution, modeling can be, any kind of mind map. right? Any kind of concept map. Or suppose I have taught already French Revolution and I have moved to Russian Revolution, a Venn diagram, that can be a modeling, right? So it depends again. Now, if I'm talking about a mind map or a concept map or a Venn diagram, that can be done easily. It might not take, it might take a little bit more time rather than 5 minutes, but yes, it is doable in that 35 minutes or 40 minutes period, right? The first step can be done. Then comes the next prompt can be, we can use is questioning. Questioning is where you can ask them, okay, you know now what I have taught, you have understood it, right, children? So what you can do is, if you were a teacher, if you were in my place, think that you are in my place, you are the teacher. What question would you have asked from this, whatever your understanding is? So that questioning they will come up to. So with those questions also you can understand where they are leading you to, what are the things you need to add to your class. So they are also evolving, you are also evolving, right? So this is the first step which we can do. Normally it takes 5 to 7 minutes for us to evaluate, means to see how this process can be carried on. But again, as I have told you, this again depends upon the topic which you are taking and how much important is that topic in the curriculum. Okay. Now the second step is prompt communication and collaboration. So here what we can do is, this is the next step. So here what we can do is we can form small groups. Now, if I'm talking about a 15-minute period, the next 5 minutes I have given, let's say, for critical thinking and creative thinking. So they have done it within 5 minutes, let's say 7 minutes. So still we have some time in hand. So we can always do we can always get into the next step of communication and collaboration. So sometimes what happens is you are teaching a topic which is going to take a little bit more time. So you might be doing with only the first step in the first period. So obviously you can carry on the second step in the second period, right? So that is obviously there is a, there is always a flexibility while you are applying it in the classes. So here what you can do is you can form small groups of your students, and the students will share ideas with their peers. You have to tell all these things, that I will make a group of you. Now you will share ideas with your peers out here. And so what actually they will be doing, they will be communicating here, they will be collaborating, and you ask them that you please do note down your ideas. Okay. And whether everybody is noting down their idea or whether they have made one person who will only note down their idea, it is, let them be free, let them, because you are here to facilitate their growth, their skills to evolve, right? So we will do that. And then each group will choose one presenter, and that presenter will present the ideas which have been discussed in the group. So again, here you can give them 10 minutes, and last 5 minutes for presentation you can always keep, or you can give that day they can only, discuss their ideas, and later on they can present their ideas. So here again, you can use many different prompts. So if I talk about, there's one prompt you can see on the slide, that is select a thought. So select a thought is where, if you are teaching, let's say French Revolution, you can then ask them, okay, we have done this in the class, right? We have learned about French Revolution. So what is that one aspect which interests you the most in this, in the whole thing? Or if I'm teaching about nucleus, let's say, I will ask them what exactly interests, what you are finding it more interesting in this particular topic. So this is select a thought kind of prompt, where they will again start thinking, they will come out with their ideas, and those ideas later on will be presented. Presentation, I'm not talking about, they will come out their ideas, they will jot down their ideas. So that is wild hairs. And this is another prompt we can use. And what is wild hairs? Here we can ask the students about their ideas. And what ideas? What is the bizarre thing about the whole topic? What what do you think was a bizarre thing in this? Is there anything? If yes, then jot down. Again, you believe me, they come up with their ideas, because every student cannot relate with the topic at one go. So they might feel one or the other thing bizarre. Let them come out of it. Because what happens when they are discussing this and when they will be presenting it to you, you will also, as an educator, as a person, you will also understand, okay, here there was a loophole, here there might be a learning gap, okay, I will do it this way. So the next class when you will be doing it, this learning gap will be somewhere, it will be going to fill up. Summarize. In summarize, you can ask them, summarize it in one sentence or two sentences. So again, they will do the same thing. Advocate. Advocate is one thing which is used as a prompt we can give them, wherein we can ask the students to select one idea. Suppose there's a group of 5 members, select only one idea, and you just advocate your views, why it is so. You put some points in support of it. So this can be done. This is a very good discussion around. This happens in the classes we do generally. So for example, if I say that, okay, in French Revolution we have seen what has happened, how could it have been evaded? So this is the other way around. Now they will start thinking, they will, they will write their points. Okay, if this would have happened, French Revolution could have been avoided. If this, so now with this, they have to, what else they have to do? They are going to present their ideas, why I have said so and what is its relevance. So advocating, that is one. Dramatize is a very nice one. We can do it in, especially in lower grades, it works nicely. I remember I was doing a lesson on constellation and later on solar eclipse, lunar eclipse. And I asked my students, okay, I'm giving you some time, you have your props. We have newspapers, right? In our schools we used to have. So have your props, make your props whatever you want, and you dramatize me the lunar eclipse. Let me see how much have you understood. So that is one thing where they will, again, we will prompt them to communicate, to collaborate, and they will come up with a, they will critically think, and they will come out with a beautiful idea. So dramatize. Rapid prototyping is again like, wherein they will come out with some visual representations, like they will make some flyers or they will make some posters. This can be done, but believe me, step 2 will take a little bit more time. And again, I am telling you that we need to understand which topic, how much time we can devote to each steps, right? So that is totally on us, and that has to be prior planned. So in this, if we talk about, dramatization, we can talk about, I remember role of Jacobians in the French Revolution. That is a very good dramatization. Nazism, Hitler and his the way of life, his way of life at that point of time. Then protecting and saving environment, conservation lesson we teach in grade 8. So there we can apply it. And we can apply it if I am talking about dramatization. Suppose I have taught them a poem in the class, they can dramatize it. There are beautiful poems there in each of the classes, and we can do that. We can ask them if we are teaching them supplementary reader, because supplementary reader in English or Hindi is one thing where, students feel that, okay, Harihar Kaka, we are going on reading. Sone Jaisadin, we are reading, or Gillu, we are reading. These are, I'm talking about 9th and 10th. Actually, there are many in lower grades also. So what we can do is we can nicely, we can narrate it like a storyteller, and we can ask them to dramatize it one day. So how they will dramatize it, I will take that thing in the later slides. Okay, so this we can do. Suppose we are teaching them, pollution is one particular topic which is there in, I think, SST and science both. So that topic can be dramatized beautifully, right? So all these things we can do with for the step 2 one. Now, let's go to step 3, that is presentation. Obviously, presentation cannot be done in the same class. Practically speaking, I have realized it cannot be done in the same class. So you can ask them to present in the next class. Maximum one group can present in the first class. The rest we can do it. So suppose if there are 40 students in a class, we can divide them into five groups. So that way they can do. You can ask them to switch on 5 cameras at a time, and they can do it in sync, because they are already practicing it before they practice it in WhatsApp or in Zoom. They practice it before they come to the class. So presentation. So after communicating and collaborating with group members, each group will share their ideas in front of the whole class. So this is step 3. And what is the importance of presentation? Why we should be asking them to present after each of the 4 C's we have implemented in the class? First thing is, it cements the concept taught. Whatever we have taught them, it cements that, because retention of knowledge is very important, right? If they cannot retain their knowledge, they will be unable to apply it here and there. So, and in CBSE now we are being again and again told to make competent based question paper, where we have to see the competence. You have seen the marks have also, the percentage have also increased this year, right? For 2021-22 batch. So this cementing is very much required, and cementing cannot be done by rote memorization. If they are amalgamating it in their system, it will be easier for them. So we can do that. Now the next thing is, students will apply all the 4 C's to present. This I have already discussed, that they will communicate, they will collaborate, and then they are going to um, uh, see to it, and they will do they will discuss among themselves. They will do critical thinking, and they will come with creative ideas, or some form of creativity they will come up with. So all the 4 C's are also applied to present it, and students take ownership and accountability for their own learning. Very, very important. For a topic, for the learning to happen very actively, they need to take ownership. And that ownership, that accountability makes them, it motivates them to keep on growing, keep on learning. They become passionate towards learning. So that is what we need in our children now, especially in the online classes. So how we can build 4 C's online? This is one thing. So see, when you have to build 4 C's online, at the beginning of the webinar only, I have told you that as soon as we enter the class, we should not be starting with our class, right? And with the beginning of the new session, you all might be waiting, but in south here we have already started our next session. So in the beginning, first day of the class, there will be many new kids, and there might be, we might do section shuffling, so there will be new kids. They might not be knowing each other. In that cases, what you can do is, you can start from your end. You can break the ice. You can ask, how are you children? Okay, I can see there are a few new people. Can you please introduce yourselves? Can you please tell about your hobbies, your likes? So this is ice breaking session, and the children will try to, they will try to connect with you, because they know that yes, the teacher is also taking interest in us. She is not only there for to teach us, she wants to know as a person. So that is important. Then we have to encourage small chat. Suppose we are teaching a topic and we know that it becomes monotonous after some time, right? So in that case, after some time, you can use various methods like polling, or you can use you can ask them to chat. You can give them some time. Okay, I have taught enough, I am feeling tired. So what you people can do is, you people can now, I'm giving you some time, 5 minutes. Let's say you chat. They have their chat windows, they can chat there. You can look into it, because you are always involved with them. You can also share your views in those chats, right? So that can be done. Encourage small chats, and you encourage group discussion. That is very important. Project based learning, as I was telling you how to implement the 4 C's. So there comes the project based learning. Using online tools. This I will take in the next slide. And use traffic light rule of conversation. This is very important. See, this will take some time for the children to understand and to get habituated to. You have to put a little bit stress before. So what basically is traffic light rule of conversation? Traffic light rule of conversation is a very nice step wherein what we do is we tell our children that, okay, once a child will start talking about himself or herself, you have to follow this traffic light rule, wherein for first 40 seconds you will talk, next 40 seconds you will start wrapping yourself, and the last 40 seconds will be the red light where you will stop and you will let the other child talk. So believe me, when you are implementing it properly and you are encouraging your students, because students also love, traffic light rule. I am not only talking about the younger kids, I'm talking about the older kids also, because I generally deal with secondary and senior secondary classes. So I know that this rule is applicable for both the younger ones and the older ones. Everybody is delighted to have this traffic light rule. So they also, once, firstly, yes, implementation will take some time. Once they have got it properly, then your classes will become smooth. You never, after some time, you need not have to tell them. First few classes you might have to monitor and keep them reminding of the 40 seconds. Later on it is not required. So what happens, you can wrap up the discussion in a stipulated time period. So that is very, very important. So this way we can build online forces in online classes. Then this is how to use the online tools. See, online tools is one thing. I can only suggest you different online tools, but the onus lies upon the educators which online tool they want to use, which online tool they are comfortable with, and which online tool will best help them to teach their concepts. So that is totally entirely on the teacher. They have to evaluate the online tools. So I will just help you out of this online tool thing. So let's say if I'm talking about collaboration, or let's say we start with communication. So communication, so what type of online tools you can use here? You can use online forums like Kialo, Now Comment. Now there are many online tools over. If you go and search in the Google search engine, you will be finding many online tools. There are free ones also, there are paid ones also. So what I will suggest, at first go for free ones. If your school is ready to pay, then that is not a problem. If you want to use it by yourself, at first go for the free ones. Later on, if you think that yes, it is helping you out and it is helping you out to a great extent, then you can go for the paid ones, right? So Kialo and Now Comment. Now Comment I will talk in the next one also, where we will they're doing with collaboration. When you have to inculcate collaboration in your class, you can use this online peer review. You can do it through online peer review. Again, Now Comment. Now Comment is a very beautiful platform. After this particular session, today is weekend, I know you might be, even might not be in that particular mood to research on it. Whenever you get time, educators, I will ask you to go to this Now Comment. You have to log in. Login you can do through your Google Mail, your Google ID, or you can log in through your Facebook ID also. You log in. This is not a paid one. Okay, and you go inside, you will be able to see so many comments have been posted. So what you can do is, here what the children can do, you can tell them this particular area, you can put your document, you can give them, they have to log it, and they will be able to see your document, and they will comment on it. The comments you can be able to see, you will be able to view them, you will be able to regulate them. So that is one thing, because teacher has to be there. So that you can do online peer review, you can always do, and that can be done through Now Comment in the online classes. Otherwise, though, it is not a problem. You can use the share tools in Google. You can use the Google Sheets, which can be shared, where also they can keep on writing together, and they can do this a particular online peer review. They can talk on online together. So collaboration can be done that way by introducing these tools. If we talk about critical thinking has again many online research tools. The best way of infusing the critical thinking into your children is to give them some kind of project where they have to surf the net, they have to do research, and then they can do, based on that they can do a class debate. Again, when we are doing these discussions, we are increasing in entertaining the communication skills in them, enhancing the communication skills in them, so that can be done. And for creativity can be best shown by writing. So this online writing, there are many apps like I Can Write, Plot Generator is one app where the child can write and the plot will be generated. He can write the story, plot will be generated. He has to go through that, and he can use his creativity to make that plot much better. Then Google Drawing and Google Draw Point TO is also there. Auto Draw, which has been introduced by Google. These are there where they can use their creativity skills online. So these are the different things they can use. But one thing we have to remember, whatever we are doing, we have to remember one thing, that we are not just teaching our subject in an engaging
Excuse me,
way.
ma'am.
Yes.
Sorry to disturb you. May I request you to please repeat the tools once again? One was plot generator, another was?
Another was I Can Write. I Can Write is
Thank
for
you.
the kiddos. Okay. That is for the
Okay.
kiddos. Okay. They can use it.
Only
And
plot generator.
there are many others. I have given you the free ones actually.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Sorry
Plot
to
gener-
disturb you.
It's okay, no problem, ma'am. We are all here to share our, whatever we know, we have to share it. Thank you, ma'am. No problem. So, what basically we have to understand is we are not going to engage. We are not going to make our classes engaged. We also here we are going to deepen the understanding, and so that our children can develop this 4 C's. And 4 C's are required everywhere. If you just start introspecting, you know that inside our home also we have to use 4 C's. When this pandemic came, and right now also, we have to communicate with each other. Okay, this is the thing. See, I have, as a housewife, I have to work also, I have to take care of my family also, but I cannot do everything. I cannot do it. So what I have to do, I have to communicate with my family members, and all of us has to collaborate. Somebody is doing some work, I have taken some responsibility of doing something. So collaboration. And then comes critical thinking. How critical thinking? I will be thinking something, some good measures which I can employ within my house, so that my work can be done easily. I will cook some food which can be one pot meal, so that I did not have to keep on putting myself into the pains of cooking, because I have to make PPTs, I have to make videos. Critical thinking. And then comes the creativity, where I creatively I make my work easy, and thus I am at my peace also. Because me time, as I have gone through a webinar where me time was discussed. Yes, me time is required. We need our me time. If we don't have our me time, how can we be creative? If we don't have the time to think about ourselves, we cannot suffice for others. We cannot help others. So yes, we are using this 4 C's at our home, we are using it at our work front. If you talk about corporates, there also 4 C's are being used. So you can understand why CBSC is hell-bent on introducing these 4 C's, and keeping on again and again telling that please do employ these 4 C's. 4 C's are very, very important in any kind of situation which we are dealing with. So at the end, I will just tell one thing, that is art of the teacher is to awaken joy in creative expression and knowledge, by Albert Einstein. So with this, I thank you for joining it. Please don't leave, because I will be providing with the Google Meet, the form here only, so that you can acquire your certificates. So let